We're going to just start at the top of our mat. Just stand nice and tall. Maybe bring one hand to heart, one hand to belly. And just track the breath for a few deep breaths in through the nose and sigh out. One more. And just drop your hands to your sides, palms facing forward. Feel that lengthening through the spine, standing up real tall. Engage all the muscles of the body, pressing through the feet, reaching through the top of the head. Slowly drop that right ear to the shoulder, lengthen through the left side of the neck, just warming up through the head a little bit. Inhale the head all the way back up. Drop the left ear to the left shoulder. Give yourself some lengthening. Inhale, head up. Exhale, drop the chin down to the chest. Maybe start to take some big circles all the way around the head. Don't go too far. Just trying to loosen up the neck, the tops of the shoulders. And switch sides whenever you're ready. Bring your head all the way back to center. Take a big deep breath in, arms out and up. Reach up to the sky. Plug the fingers into the ceiling. Try to reach out of the hips. Slowly drop that right hand and take a big side stretch up and over. Lengthen through that left side. Crawl the right fingertips down the thigh. Inhale all the way back up. Both arms reach to the ceiling. Exhale that left hand to your side. Take a big side stretch up and over. Lengthen through the right side and crawl the left fingertips down the thigh. Inhale all the way back up. Both arms reach. Exhale as you swan dive. Bend the knees and melt into that forward fold. Just grab opposite elbows. Relax the head and neck. Give yourself a little sway, nod, and shake. Release the arms. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, release, plant the hands and step back to plank. Take a moment here, firm up the core, the glutes, the thighs, and lengthen the spine. You can do a little rock forward and back. Option to drop the knees or rock forward, chaturanga all the way down to the mat. Untuck the toes. You're going to do some lifts to cobra. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, looking up. Exhale to release. Take 3 more lifts at your own pace. After that last cobra, bring your hands back next to your ribs. Inhale as you come all the way up to upward dog. Roll the shoulders back, heart through the arms. Firm back through plank. Take a moment here to lengthen the spine. Then press back for downward dog. First downward dog of the day. Take a moment to lengthen the spine. Keep the knees bent. Give yourself that nice high hip. Maybe sway the hips, pedal out the feet. You can figure eight the hips if you include that pedal and sway. On your next inhale, reach that right leg up to the sky, 3-legged dog. Reach through the toes. Maybe bend the knee and peel open the hip. You can take some big circles with that knee, working into the hip joint for a few breaths. You can always switch direction if you want to try the other way. Slowly release that right leg all the way back down. Inhale, left leg reaches to the sky. Reach through the toes. Bend the knee, maybe peel open the hip. Take a couple breaths. You can take some big circles with that knee if you want to work into the hip. Maybe switch direction. Slowly release that left leg all the way back down. Nice deep breath in. Exhale as you walk your feet towards your hands. Come to forward fold. Bend the knees. Grab elbows. Take a little sway. Nod and shake. Release the arms. Inhale, halfway lift. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, release. Bend the knees. Inhale, roll all the way up to standing. Arms out and up overhead. Exhale as you swan dive straight from there. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to plank. Take a moment here, firm up the core, lengthen the spine. We're going to do a little core work here, so when you're ready, we're going to bend the right knee and bring knee to tricep and step it back. Then we're going to do left knee to tricep and step it back. Do that a few times to the beat of your music. Keep your spine long, really trying to engage the obliques, those side abdominals. Then come back to plank. We're going to lift the toes one at a time. And drop the knees and melt into a child's pose. Give yourself a few breaths, releasing length in the spine. You can always do a little wiggle in the ribs and hips if you want some more movement. Maybe walk your hands over to the left corner. Take a little side stretch through the ribs. You can walk your hands over to the right corner, planting your hands down, get a little extra side stretch. Come all the way back to center, and then come back to tabletop. From here, you can move through some cat and cows at your own pace. Inhale, drop the belly, flex the spine. Exhale, round and tuck, reach the back of the ribs up to the ceiling. Just keep moving with the breath for a few paces. Whenever you're ready, we're going to tuck the toes, lift the hips, come back to downward dog. Give yourself a few breaths to pedal out the feet and sway the hips. Now we're going to take a few sun salutation A's. If you want to hop forward and back, I'm going to train you a little bit on that. If not, you can always step forward and back. So I start with a little hop forward. You want to think about pressing into the fingertips and lifting the hips. So when you're ready, lift the hips, bend the knees, and then hop the hips over the wrists as you bring your feet forward. Take a little inhale halfway. Exhale, release, bend the knees. Inhale, roll all the way up. Straight from there, exhale, swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift. Hopping back, plant the hands. Again, pressing into the fingertips, lifting the hips. You're going to shoot the feet back and land in chaturanga. Bend the elbows to protect your lower back. You can always press back to plank and then move through vinyasa. Now we're going to take 3 sun salutations at your own pace. Feel free to hop forward and back if you want, or just skip that all together and walk forward and back. If you're hopping, think fingertips, feet forward, nice and light. Just keep moving at your own pace. Always give yourself a little pedal out and sway when you get to downward dog to reset. You might be on your last one with me. You might be working a little slower. It's okay. Move at your own pace. meet in downward dog, so whenever you get there, give yourself a moment to pedal out the feet and sway the hips. On your next inhale, reach that right leg up to the sky. Now we're going to bend the knee and bring that foot outside the pinky toe. So give yourself time, finding that wide lunge, the lizard lunge. Right hand right up against the foot. Left hand in line with that right foot. Give yourself a little rock forward and back. You can keep that forward rock, or you can lift and look underneath and rock up and down. So give yourself a few rocks of your choice. You can kind of shift them and move them together. And give yourself a moment here in this active lizard. Don't drop the back leg, really engage the thigh. From here, lengthen the spine. You can stay right here or start to drop elbows. Now, if you want to be super fancy and you want to try and bind, you can bring that right hand, snake it behind the leg. Try to bring the top of the hand up. Then you're going to crawl those left fingertips off the mat and just touch fingertips. Lengthen the spine, look forward. Slowly release that bind if you're there. Lift the hips and step back to downward dog. Give yourself a little pedal out in the feet. You can take a vinyasa if you want to fire it up a little more. Once you come back to that downward dog, inhale left leg up to the sky. Bend the knee and step the foot outside the pinky finger. Give yourself time finding that wide lunge. Left hand right up against the foot. Right hand in line with that left hand. Give yourself rocks forward and back. Or maybe some lifts and look underneath. Rocking forward and back, up and down. Then come back to neutral. Don't drop that back leg. Engage the thigh to keep you lifted. You can stay on hands, or if you want to release lower, drop elbows. Now you can stay here if you're really good. If you want more of a challenge, snake that left hand behind the leg and see if you can crawl the right fingertips off the mat and touch fingertips. Lengthen the spine, look forward. Slowly release the hands. Lift the hips, step back to downward dog. Give yourself a little pedal out in the feet, a little sway in the hips. On your next inhale, right leg reaches to the sky. Bend the knee, round the back like in cat as you rock forward and plant the foot in between the hands. Now give yourself a moment to lengthen the spine. Keep the heel lifted, and we're going to lift up to crescent pose. Give yourself a moment, engage the inner thighs and the glutes to keep you stable and forward. Relax the shoulders, don't make tension in the neck. You can bring your hands to heart. Now we're start to twist here. You might want to start with an easy twist. Just drop the left hand and open to the right. If that's way too easy for you, bring your hands to heart center in that twist. Left elbow to the outside of the right knee, and then press the hands together to open the chest. A little twisted prayer. Give yourself a few breaths. You can even open the arms for more, pressing that left tricep into the right knee. Slowly cartwheel the hands all the way back down. Either side of that right foot, lift the hips and step back. Pedal out the feet or continue with the vinyasa if you like. You can always bounce the booty to the music if you have some good tunes playing. Inhale, left leg reaches to the sky. Bend the knee, round the back like in cat as you rock forward to plank, and plant the foot in between the hands. Keep the back heel lifted and start to lift all the way up to crescent. You can reach the arms up if you like. Engage the glutes and the inner thighs to keep you stable. Make sure you're not creating tension. Relax the shoulders. Maybe even bring hands to heart. Now we're moving to a little twist. Maybe start easy, dropping the right hand to the floor and opening to the left. If that's way too easy, bring hands to heart in that twist. And then we're going to bring the right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Press into the hands to open the chest. You can stay there open, pressing that right tricep into the knee. Slowly release the hands all the way back to the mat, framing the foot. Lift the hips, step back. Downward dog or vinyasa. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale as you walk your feet towards your hands. Come to that forward fold. Bend the knees. Melt into that release. Give yourself a little sway, nod and shake. I'm going to turn to face you guys. You don't have to turn on your mat. We're going to sink into Malasana. Take the knees a little wider, elbows to the insides of the knees, and lengthen the spine. Do a little shift side to side. Now we're going to kind of move into prep for Bird of Paradise. So we're going to think about shifting one leg at a time. So come back to neutral, and we're going to grab a hold of the right knee. That means we're going to stand on the left leg. So when you're ready, walk that right foot over and lift the toes, because we're pressing into that left foot instead. So hug the knee and press into the left foot. Press into the heel until you can lift the knee into the chest. It's a lot of that left glute, so give yourself time. And then when you're ready, bend the left knee and sink back down to Malasana. Take a moment. Then grab a hold of the left knee. We're going to do the other side. So keep the right foot grounded and crawl the left foot over. Plant it on tippy toes. Then press into the right foot. Engage the glute as you lift all the way to standing. Lengthen the spine. We're going to settle back down into that Malasana squat for a moment. We're going to shift over again. Now, if you want to start to move into Bird of Paradise and binding, you can bring your hand underneath the leg. So I'm going to lengthen that right leg away from me, slide the arm underneath, and give myself a little just touching fingertips. Ground the left foot, right toes lift, then press into the left foot, left heel, engage the glute as you stand all the way up. Lengthen the spine, press through the heel, give yourself that tall. Now if you want to extend for Bird of Paradise, there you are. Slowly release whenever you need. One more side, we're almost there. When you're ready, lift the left toes and snake the left hand underneath. You can always keep that hold the knee if you don't want to bind. Press into that right foot, walk your left toes over. Stand nice and tall. Lengthen the spine. You can stay there or extend. Slowly release all the way back to Malasana. Give yourself a little sway. On your next inhale, straighten the legs, reach the arms all the way up to the sky, palms together, down to heart. Then turn to the long side of your mat. Take your feet nice and wide, hands to hips. Take a big deep breath in. Exhale as you forward fold. Hinge at the waist, let the hands slide down. You can bend the knees if you want, maybe grab opposite elbows. Give yourself a little shift side to side. Try to release completely through the upper body, the neck, the head. Inhale, halfway lift. Here you want to engage the glutes. You want to be able to hold yourself in this halfway without using your hands. Lengthen the spine. And we're going to take a little twist. You can leave the left fingertips down as you open up to the right. And then engage those legs and see if you can lift the left hand to heart. Slowly come back to center. Other side, keep the right fingertips down, open up to the left. Then engage the glutes and legs and try to lift the right hand off the mat to heart. Slowly release all the way back. Bend the knees, melt into that fold. Give yourself a little shift, side to side, nod and shake the head. Inhale, halfway lift. You can bend the knees and turn the toes out a little bit. Start to walk your hands over to the right leg and straighten the left leg, press through the heel. Now my Skandasana is all the way down here, but yours might be up here, and that's totally fine. Just getting that inner thigh stretch through the left leg. Give yourself a few breaths. You can always keep your hands on the floor, hands to heart. Or you might want to do a little eagle pose, left arm over right. Whenever you're ready, you're going to lift the hips and shift over to the left leg. Bend the left knee and press through the right heel. Inner thigh stretch. It doesn't matter how far you're sinking. Give yourself a few breaths. Hands to heart. Maybe try that eagle right over left. Slowly release the hands, lift and shift. Give yourself a few more shifts. You can always just keep your hands down. You can do your hand play, or you can keep your hands off the mat and lift and shift. Just give yourself a couple more breaths. And then come all the way back to that fold. Straighten the legs. You can start to walk your feet together. Maybe bending the knees as you come to this forward fold. Give yourself a little sway, nod and shake. Your feet can be together or hip width apart. Inhale, halfway, looking forward. Exhale, release. Now we're going to do a chair pose when you're ready. Inhale as you sweep the arms in front of you and sit back into the heels. Engage the thighs and the glutes. Think about them wrapping around the back of the hips. Holding you there for 3, 2, 1. Inhale as you straighten the legs, reach up to the sky. You can reach back and open the heart. Inhale all the way back up. Bring the palms together, down to heart. Bring your hand to heart, hand to belly. Just take a moment tracking the breath. Now we're doing some standing back bends when you're ready. Keep your feet hip width apart. And we're going to bring your hands to the low back, right up against the sacrum. And what we're going to do is press down into the sacrum. Roll the shoulders back and open the collarbones in the chest. So don't think about bending the spine. Think about opening the front body. So just take a nice deep breath in as you press in. Squeeze the shoulder blades as you roll back. Let the hips shift forward as you lean back. Just give yourself a few breaths. Inhale as you come all the way back up. Lengthen up through the top of the head. Maybe even reach the hands up in hollow body. Tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin, and take a couple breaths. Inhale as you look all the way back up. Relax the hips, palms together, down to heart. And do one more standing back bend. Take a deep breath, reach the hands up. Exhale, swan dive the hands out and bring them back behind you. Heels to the back, heel of the hands to the back of the hips. Press down on the sacrum as you roll the shoulders back. Hips shift forward as you lean back. Take a few breaths there. Inhale all the way back up to standing. Both arms reach to the sky. Take a side stretch. Drop the right hand to your side. Big stretch up and over. Crawl the right fingertips down the thigh. Inhale all the way back up. Exhale, left hand down. Big side stretch up and over. Crawl the left fingertips down the thigh. Inhale all the way back up. Both arms reach. Exhale as you swan dive. Bend the knees as you melt. Give yourself a little sway, nod and shake. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Now sit down onto the mat, helping yourself if you want, or challenging yourself with no hands. And we're going to come to a little butterfly pose. So bring your feet together, let your knees go wide. We're just going to take a little shift side to side, little sway, letting one sit bone lift at a time. And you can stay up nice and tall, holding onto the feet, the ankles, the shins. Roll the shoulders back and relax the hips. Standing nice and tall here, or if you want to fold, take a big deep breath in. Hinge at the waist, walking the hands out in front first, and try to push the sit bones back as you reach the heart forward. So give yourself some time, trying to keep the spine long. I like to wiggle my feet as I melt in. Kind of gives my hips some time to make any adjustment if it wants. Just give yourself time as you breathe and lengthen. You can look forward and let the head melt. Don't worry about how far you're stretching or what shape you're making. Notice what you're feeling in the body. Breathing into those spaces of tension. Allowing the exhale to melt it away. Inhale as you come all the way back up to seated. Start to bring your knees together. We're going to do a little shoelace pose. Now, your legs might not want to cross like this, so I'm going to give you lots of options. What you want to do is keep your knees bent, and you're going to sweep one ankle underneath. I'm starting with my left leg, just bringing the left ankle toward the right hip. And you can always stay right here if you're feeling a deep stretch in that left leg. If you don't feel anything, maybe cross the right foot over the knee and take a moment here. Now again, if you still are not feeling much, maybe bring the left ankle over to the left hip. Trying to stack the knees on top of each other. So this is the traditional shoelace shape. Also Gomakasana, cow face. Now, let yourself find a comfortable position here. So if this is not comfortable, you can always just cross the legs. It's not the same, but it's similar. So give yourself some time, maybe even press into the feet and keep the hip bones planted, those glute muscles just releasing into the mat. Lengthen up through the spine, nice deep breath in. Exhale as you start to forward fold over the knees. Now you can always bring your hands out in front of you. You can hug onto the knees. Or if you're trying to keep the spine long, hold onto the feet and reach the heart forward. Give yourself some time just melting. Breathing into the spine, the back of the neck, the back of the hips. Really noticing the outer thighs, the sides of the legs. Just a few more breaths. Inhale as you come all the way back up to seated. Slowly switch legs. So uncross the top leg. Untuck the bottom leg. Coming back to just knees on top. And then when you're ready, we're going to switch. So we can bring that right leg underneath. Bringing the right heel to the left hip. Again, if you feel comfortable, just stay here. If you want more, cross that left foot over the right and take a moment. You can always stay right here. You don't have to look like me. Your shape might be different. Or if you want that traditional shape, you can bring that left heel over to the right hip and give yourself a moment just holding onto the feet so you can get your hips settled. Take a big deep breath in, lengthen up through the spine. Exhale as you start to fold over the knees. Give yourself time as you melt, not trying to go as far as you can, but just going as far as you feel that stretch. Visualizing the breath flowing in and out, melting away the tension. Just gradually, piece by piece. Inhale as you come all the way back up to seated. Uncross the legs, nice and slow, give yourself time. And you can end right here, or if you want to take Shavasana, feel free to come onto your back. You can stay on your back, lay on your side, your belly, come to legs up the wall. I'm probably going to do some legs up the wall myself. If you're doing legs up the wall, you don't have to have your glutes right up against the wall. You're just swinging the legs up, so you don't have to hold your legs up against the wall. You can keep the feet separate, you can cross the ankles. Give yourself time to find that space where you can relax, just letting your body melt. Maybe release the hands, the arms, just finding a comfortable space. Take a deep breath in through the nose and sigh out. Just allow your body to begin to relax. Melting down through the toes, the ankles, through the shins and calves. Just allowing that breath, that wave of relaxation to flow down through the knees, the thighs and hamstrings. Releasing through the hips and legs. Noticing that wave travel through the spine, releasing down the arms, relaxing along the face, the forehead, the jaw, the back of the neck. Just continue to feel that wave of relaxation rise and fall, bringing you into that deeper place of stillness and calm. Allowing yourself to rest for a few moments. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes, roll your wrists and ankles. Reach your arms overhead, taking a nice deep breath in like a good morning stretch. Hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little rock side to side. Eventually let yourself just fall to one side. Help yourself up to seated. Bring your hands to heart center. Take a moment and thank yourself for practicing. I'd like to thank you for allowing me to guide you. Hope you have a great rest of your day and week, being able to come back to this place of stillness when you most need it. In this place, I offer you all